What's up, everyone? Hello, hello. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? And this is English Reading 100 Days Challenge. Today is day 17. I'm gonna read marketing insights from A to Z. Let's dive right into it. It has been observed that there are four types of companies: those that make things happen, those that watch things happen and respond, and those that watch things happen and don't respond. Those that didn't notice that anything had happened. No wonder that average company disappears within 20 years. Of the companies listed as best in Forbes 100 of 1917, only 18 survived to 1987, and only two of them, General Electric and Eastman Kodak, were making good money. And not all existing companies are truly alive. Companies fool us by merely breathing day to day. General Motors and Seals have been losing shares of years, even though their hearts are still ticking. You can enter some companies and tell within 50 minutes whether they are alive or dead just by looking at their employees' faces. I no longer know what a large company is. Company size is relative. Boeing, Caterpillar, Ford, General Motors, Kellogg's, Eastman Kodak, JP Morgan, and Seals are giant companies. But in early 2000, Microsoft corporations achieved a market value that exceeded that all of the eight companies combined. What makes some companies great? That's a whole string of books ready to tell us that the answer. Tom Peters and Bob Waterman started the guessing game, which with In Search of Excellence in 2084. Of the 60 companies they nominated, many are Mars-bound today. Then we heard from Jimmy Collins and Jerry Porras in Built to Last, one on 1994, Michael Tracy and Fred Wessesmar in the discipline of market leaders, Aries D. Gurus in The Living Company, and most recently from Jim Collins, again in Good to Great: Why Some Companies Make the Leap and Others Don't. These books point out that many correlations of successful companies, but I have a simple thesis. Companies last as long as they continue to provide superior customer value. They must be market driven and customer driven. In best cases, they are market driven. They create new products that people may not have asked for, but afterwards thank them for. Thanks to Sony for your Walkman, your smart storage discs, your incredible camcorders, and your innovative computers. Customer-oriented companies make steady gains in mind share and heart share, leading to higher market shares and in turn to higher profit share. Tom Siebel, CEO of Siebel Systems, has a simple but comprehensive view of what creates great company. Focus on satisfying your customers, becoming a market leader, and being known as a good corporate citizen and a good place to work. Everything else follows. In the best companies last as long as they come to provide superior customer value. They must be market driven and consumer driven. In the best cases, they are market driving. They create new products that people may not have asked for, but afterward thank them for. Competitive advantage. Michael Porter popularized the notion that a company wins by building a relevant and sustainable competitive advantage. Having a competitive advantage is like having a gun in a knife fight. That is true, but today most advantages don't stay relevant and few are sustainable. Advantages are temporary. Increasingly, a company wins not with a single advantage, but by layering one advantage on top of another one over time. The Japanese have been masters at this. First coming in with low prices and with better features, then with better quality, and then with faster performance. The Japanese have recognized that marketing is a race without a finishing line. Companies can build a competitive advantage from many sources, such as superiority in quality, speed, safety, service, design, and reliability, together with low cost, lower price, and so on. It is more often some unique combination of these rather than a single silver bullet that delivers the advantage. A great company will have incorporated a set of advantages that all reinforce each other around a basic idea. Walmart, IKEA, and Southwest Airlines have unique sets of practices that enable them to charge the lowest prices in their respective industries. A competitor a competitor that copies only a few of these practices will not succeed in gaining a, an advantage. Recognize that competitive advantages are relative, not absolute. If the competition is improving by 30% and you by 20%, you are losing competitive advantage. Singapore Airlines kept improving its quality, but Cathay Pacific, Cathay Pacific was improving its quality faster, thereby gradually closing the gap with Singapore Airlines. All firms have competitors, and even if they were only one airline, the airline would have to worry about trains, buses, cars, bicycles, and even people who might prefer to walk to their destinations. The later Roberto Go, Go, Gozuta, CEO of Coca-Cola, recognized Coke's competitors when his people said that Coke's market share was at a maximum. He countered that Coca-Cola accounted for less than 2 ounces of the 64 ounces of fluid that each of the world's 4.4 billion people drink every day. The enemy is coffee, milk, tea, water, he told his people. Coca-Cola is now a major seller of bottled water. The more success a company has, the more competition it will attract. Most markets are brimming with whales, barracudas, sharks, and Manaus. In these waters, the choice is to eat lunch or be lunch. or using computer scientists Gregory Lyon's metaphor. If you are not part of the steamroller, you are a part of the road. Hopefully, your company will attract only good competitions. Good competitors are a blessing. They are like good teachers to raise our sights and sharpen our skills. Average competitors are a nuance. Bad competitors are a pain to every decent competitors. A company should never ignore its competitors. Stay alert. Time spent in recognize recognizance is seldom wasted, said Zhuangzi in in 4th century BC, and your allies should stay alert. If you are going to be an effective competitor, you must also be an effective cooperator. You are not a solo business but a partnership, a network, an extended enterprise. Competition today is increasingly between networks, not companies, and your ability to spot faster, learn faster, and work faster as a network is a key competitive advantage. In the short run, the most dangerous competitors are those that resemble your company the most. The consumers can't see the difference. Your company is a toss up in their mind. So differentiate. According to the marketing guru Theodore Levitt, the new competition is not between what companies produce in their factories, but between what they add to their factory output in the form of packaging, services, advertising, consumer advice, financing, delivery arrangements, warehousing, and other things that people value. The way to beat your competition is to attack yourself first. Work hard to make your product line obsolete before your competitors do. Watch your distant competitors as well as your close ones. My guess is that your company is more likely to be buried by a new disruptive technology than by nasty look-alike competitors. Most fatal competition will come from a small competitors who burns with a passion to change the rules of the game. IBM made mistakes of worrying about Fujitsu than a nobody named Bill Gates, who was working on software in his garage. As important as it is to watch your competitors, it is more important to obsess on your customers. Customers, not competitors, determine who wins the war. Most markets are plagued by too many fishermen going after too few fish. The best fishermen understand the fish better than their competitors do. Consultants can play a positive role in helping companies reappear reappraise their market opportunities, strategies, and tactics. Consultants provide a client company with an outside-in view to corporate the company's tendency to take an inside-out view. Um, Yet some managers say if we are successful, we don't need consultants. If we are unsuccessful, we can't afford them. We need fewer consultants and more resultants. Too many consultants give you advice and fail to grapple with the difficult problem to implementing the recommendations. Keep the consultant and pay him or her according to results. Here is a test for finding a good consultant. Ask each consultant what time is it. The first consultant say it is exactly 9:32 a.m. and 10 seconds. Hire him if you want an accurate, fact-filled study. The second consultant answered, "What time do you want it to be?" Hire him if you don't want advice so much as corro- corroboration. The third consultant answers, "Why do you want to know?" Hire him if you want some original thinking, such as defining the problem more carefully. Peter 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 Drucker says that his greatest strength as a consultant is to be ignorant and ask a few basic questions. There is a lot of synthesis about consultants. As early as the first century BC, many receive advice, few profit by it. People who borrow your watch and tell you what time it is and then walk off with the watch. A consultant is a person who knows nothing about your business, to whom you pay more to tell you how to run it than you could earn it. You run it, then you could earn if you run it right instead of the way he tells you. The cynicism simply means that they are good and bad consultants, and your task is to be able to tell the difference. Corporate branding. There's a great payoff in building a strong corporate brand. Sony can put its name on any electronic device, and customers it will prefer it to the competition. Virgin can enter almost any business and be successful because its name brings a fresh approach to the business. The major requirement for corporate branding is for a company to stand for something, whether it is quality, innovation, friendliness, or something else. Take Caterpillar, the construction equipment manufacturer. Caterpillar's brand personality triggers strong association as hardworking, resilient, tough, bold, and determined. So Caterpillar has been able to launch cat jeans, sandals, sunglasses, watches, and toys, all designed with the same traits in mind. A strong corporate brand needs good image work in terms of a theme, tagline, graphics, logo, identifying colors, and advertising dollars. But a company shouldn't over rely on an advertising approach. Corporate image is more effective built by company performance than by anything else. Good company performance plus good PR will buy a lot of more than corporate advertising. Creativity. Companies formerly won their marketing battles through superior efficiency and quality. Today they must win through superior creativity. One does not win through battle sameness. Through one does not win by win through one does not win through better sameness. One wins through uniqueness. Winning companies such as IKEA, Haley Davidson, and Southwest Airlines are unique. Uniqueness requires developing a culture that honors creativity. There are three ways to increase your company's creativity: hire more natural creative people and give them free rein. Stimulate creativity in your organization through a myriad of well-tested techniques. Contract for creativity help. Go to Bright House in Atlanta, Faith Popcorn in New York, or Leo Burnett in Chicago, for example, and get help in finding a breakthrough idea. See the box of descriptions of some of the leading creativity techniques that can be used in-house. Modification analysis, attribute listing, forced relationships, morphological analysis, product problem analysis, flavor creativity flavor too quickly. Many cost dental uh, cavities and is hard to dispose of. Think of solutions to these problems. Decision trees brainstorming. Decision trees brainstorming. Decision trees brainstorming. Synetics. Creativity is to dedicate a flower that phrase ten that praise that pray that praise tends to make it bloom to make it bloom, while discouragement often nips it in the bud. Creativity is so delicate a flower that praise tends to make it bloom, while discouragement often nips it in the bud. It is said that creativity probably peaks at age 5, and then children go to school only to lose it. The educational emphasis on left brain cognitive learning tends to under nurture the creativity right brain. Customer needs. Okay, I think that's it for today. Thank you very much.